Hey, Carp Anglers, James Sanders here, and
Thomas Pearson. How you guys doing out there tonight?
Alright, Ricky couldn't show up today. It's going to be past his bed.
He's watching though. He's watching. He's on his couch.
Turn it down here.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and then yeah, he's watching us. So you know, he said he's going to be out there. You know, what's up, Tia? Hey, sweetie. And he's going to watch and ask some questions.
Well,
we got some shade going on there, didn't he? Is that like skin?
Well, yeah, probably. What, my head?
Yeah, you got skin going on there. But you just got a haircut?
Oh, I mean, I always keep it this low, but Isaiah said something about, I'll continue to watch as long as time he keeps his hat on.
Wow.
It's cool. Hey, keep laughing up.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, if I start losing my hair, man, I'm shaving. I'm shaving that bitch.
Man, I don't care.
No.
It don't bother me.
Man, so it's been a good month. Feels like 3 weeks.
Nah, it's probably been longer than that. I think we hadn't had one since you went to Dale Hollow. That's what started it. Man, what the heck? But you know what happens like that every year, though.
It does.
Normally we wouldn't even be doing one now, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we normally just stop.
Yeah, and
but we do need to try to keep. You know what I mean? Like we got. You know, there's other people out there, you know, I'm not going to say they depend on us, you know.
No, they like the entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, they like the entertainment. They like the one.
It ain't for everybody.
No, it's not.
You know, we consider them we're the best fishermen in the world.
You guys heard that?
All, you know, everybody on Team Fish Fighters, we're all, you know, we're the best. We're the best of the best.
The best of the best of the best.
Yeah. No, man.
We try.
We just
there's a lot of great
everyday Joes, you know what I mean? Just like everybody else.
There's a lot of great carp anglers out there, you know.
There is.
And our show is all about just promoting carp fishing from both sides, get to know each other a little bit better, and learn from somebody. You know, just learn from other people, other anglers, and their point of view.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I mean,
speaking of the best, though,
the best of the best. What?
Speaking of the best, though, we got like 10 people in there right now. I've been trying to talk James into doing who's the best of the best.
The best of the best on the team, or the best
no,
of the best?
just in general, like
anglers out there.
Just anglers in general.
I see where she's coming from now. Okay,
I just want to try.
I'm digging your vibe.
Maybe we can hype it up.
No. I'm digging your vibe.
People can get in your ear and be like,
digging your vibe.
"Let's make it happen this year."
I see what you're saying. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's do it.
Who's the best of the best? Everybody thinks they can just catch fish anywhere.
That's.
I don't care what nobody says.
We are looking for the best of the best carp anglers out there. Do you think you got what you got?
We're thinking like 100% payback.
A tournament that's coming up in September.
No.
That's next year shit.
No, it's not.
No, it's going to be next. No, I'm talking about let's do it on White River.
I mean, we can, but I mean that's always the best of the best.
No, I mean let's hype up the White River. See,
I'm trying to talk James into doing a Westlake tournament, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to catch fish there.
What's that?
Anyways, make sure you guys get in James's inbox about the Westlake tournament. It's hard to catch fish in there.
Well, this is what I want to do, man. On the whole Westlake, I don't want to do Westlake tournament this year yet, but I do want to hype up the Fall Carp Classics. That's what I like to do. But maybe I could get something going on next year at Westlake. But at this moment,
Fall Carp Classic.
Yes, sir. And which is going to be September 21st, I believe. And I mean, it's going to be 100. We're going to get it as 100% payout. And
Jimmy Sneed said, he said what? I missed it. Westlake, question.
Next year we're thinking about Tommy.
I brought it up earlier and was like, man, we should host a Westlake tournament, you know what I mean? You know, let everybody come out there and, you know, and prove, you know, really there's going to be a lot of wild water guys.
Yeah. And well, I mean, Peg Lakers get all into it.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying though. It's gonna be everybody.
But like I said,
I guarantee you, if we did a sign up,
yeah,
and if we went out there and pegged out spots, and if we did a sign up and took, you know, if it's $50, it's $25 to even sign up. Right. That way, if you don't sign up, that money still goes into the pot. You know what I mean? Right. And then we fill that slot.
Right. But the Fall Carp Classics, it's going to come up here September 21st. My goal is to get, I mean, this stretch of river right now is pegged out for 70 pegs.
Yeah.
You know, from the all the way down to the zoo.
It's hard. It
is tough.
It's that White River's tough.
Yeah, like I say, and
I ain't never really caught no carp out there during the daytime.
No, yeah, so you want to do like a night tournament too?
I want to do a nighttime tournament, but I mean it's kind of dangerous over there too. You know,
sometimes.
What I mean?
But what I'm
at nighttime anyway.
But like we did like the best of, you know, probably give about. I haven't talked to the team yet. Well, I wouldn't mind $50 entry for Fall Carp Classics. You get 70 people, no actually, just for $40 entry, and you get 70 carp anglers. That's $3,500.
You want to do a winner take all?
I thought about that.
Yeah,
winner take all.
I'd make it top 4 though, man.
But I mean, that's $3,500.
I mean, I know, but that's $3,500. That, you know what I mean?
It's $3,500 just to get into that tournament.
Yeah, and just like Jimmy Sneed said too, you know, we don't get paid to do none of these. Well, you know, don't get me wrong, we don't do a lot of them, but the ones that we do, we don't get paid to do none of them. Ricky, Massey, and James, they do one hell of a job putting on this tournament. Yeah, and it's really tradition too.
Yeah, from Old West Side Big Tackle. But
this was the last year that we was going to be able to use it. Yeah,
at the West Side. Yeah, we don't get to use that park a lot no more at West Side. So.
But like Jimmy was saying, I ain't mean to cut you off.
Good.
You know, all donations and raffle prizes are encouraged, greatly appreciated. You know, we're trying to get ahead of it now so we can have more of a, you know, we just draw tickets for all the anglers that show up. Everybody gets a ticket.
Right.
And we keep going until everything's gone. Everybody's ticket goes back into another bucket. And then once we run through the tickets, we go through and we do them again. So
well, it's been good. Almost a month, way over a month since we did our last podcast. Anything interesting with you? No. We're going to talk more about the White River with our guest today.
Okay. No, man, just you know. I hit the one last week's the Wednesday night shootout. Was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Nice little payday on that. Yeah. Wish I was there now. Wish I was fishing.
So, all right, let's. You want to call our guest?
Yeah.
And so, give us a shout out. People out there, give a shout out to your teams.
Share this for us, please.
Please share this.
Hello.
Yo, Steve, what's up, my brother? John Gregory. Hey, man, you actually, man. First off, I gotta apologize to you and and the viewers because we had you all set up for almost 3 times. Actually, this is the 3rd time it's turned.
This is the 3rd time.
Yeah. So. Man, we had you all set up for one day, you know. We ran up to a snag.
Fall Carp Classic too.
Yeah, and
kind of glad because it rained on me. We could have did it underneath the bridge or something.
Yeah, we could ride down. But I mean, I felt like we just didn't give him enough airtime. We wouldn't give him enough airtime because we'd be weighing fish and all that stuff. So
yeah,
I think just doing it this way is more smart. Man, brother, you did good out there. You came from Missouri. and you came to Indianapolis. You and all your teammates, Kansas City Carp anglers. Your whole crew, your whole posse came to Indianapolis to fish the White River Invitationals we just had last Saturday. So, and how long is that trip for you? Just coming to Indianapolis?
Well, Kevin and I is about the same, about 7.5 hours, 7 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Google says. I don't know if I can legally tell you how long it actually took, but
you're right.
Probably about 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely beat the Google time, but no, it's about 7.5 hours. I mean, it's not horrible. I mean, let's be honest. You know, if one of us wants to go to a major destination of some kind, you know, let's say just, oh gosh, I don't even know off the top of my head. Blackfoot for us would be something to the effect of like.
That's a real popular lake.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 16 or 18 hours, something like that. You know, if we wanted to go to Dale down to the Hollow.
God's
I think
country
that's like 9.5 hours. So, you know, I mean, and all of us really enjoy, you know, Kevin especially. Kevin's really big on, you know, new and exciting things and exploring and places he hasn't fished. That's his whole thing. He loves that part, you know, just go find the water that we've never hit before. Or he doesn't know anybody that's hit before, and, you know, let's go check it out. And he'll dive off on these Google food trips. We call them Google food trips because he'll go out somewhere and take a random picture of a lake and then post it up in our group and be like, hey, guess where I'm at? Or try and find me on the map, you know. And of course, there's a couple of guys that usually find it within about 30 minutes. Because they're really good at it. I don't even mess with it because I can't ever figure it out.
Right. I mean, I talked to Kevin a little bit over at the White River Invitationals tournament a little bit, and his van is set up.
Oh, dude, his van is the bomb. It's the best.
I fell in love with his van.
Like, in there, he's got a TV, he's got his refrigerator, he's got battery packs, he's got solar panels on the roof.
Yeah.
He's got a big awning on the side you can roll out. His van is the bomb, dude. That thing is so cool.
You can take that thing anywhere.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh yeah, and it's just a regular old Chevy Astro 4-wheel drive van.
Yeah, with those playing got those 350
There's
in it.
nothing fancy about it. You just pulled all the stuff out of the inside.
I mean, when
Turn it into a tiny bivvy. I mean, he calls it the 10 bivvy. It is the 10 bivvy. It's just a bivvy on wheels.
But that's so much more comfortable.
Oh yeah, he had it all set up. I mean, it was just when we was over at, I noticed his van over there at the bait shop, you know, the west side, and then you know, I see the solar panel on top. I seen the awning on the side. I'm like, oh my God, this thing. I know this type of vehicle, man. This is the setup. This is the one of the greatest American carpmobiles. And so Kevin was showing it to me, and all I said, like, dude, you got this thing set. He's got a bed chair in there, you know, of course, and it's mainly set up for one person, but you know, that's fine, you know. He had curtains all set up. He had TV. I mean, it's great. I was like, and I was
he had a nice little chunk of change in that.
Yeah, I asked him, what's your battery life on that, you know, off your solar panels, and he goes, maybe I think a good 2 weeks, you know, like a weekend, you know. And of course, you know, you got the sun regenerating it, you know. But
yeah, he told me at one point that with his refrigerator running and you know, just normal usage, nothing crazy.
Right.
If he doesn't charge with solar, I think he said he has like, and I could be wrong here, but I think he said he has about 3 days of battery life.
Okay.
But with his solar panels, he's not really sure, because if it regenerates well and he gets, you know, good efficiency in charging, he could definitely make it, I believe, 7 to 10 days minimum.
Oh.
He may be able to exceed that if we have good sunlight and he gets good efficiency.
Yeah, that's wow. Because
yeah.
But all right, well, oh yeah, you guys came to the White River Invitational. I want to give a shout out real quick to Jimmy Sneed. Congratulations, Jimmy Sneed, for winning the 2024 White River Invitationals Carp Tournament. Man, Jimmy did good, especially right there at the beginning. He caught that beautiful mirror.
Yeah, it's been a while since there's been a mirror.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rarely you ever get a mirror coming out of that river, ever. And I think it was don't quote me, I feel like it maybe 8 pounds.
Yeah, I think it was 8 something if I remember right. Because I watched you guys. I was sitting in my little cubby hole watching you guys weigh that fish live.
Oh man, so
it's a rough play. Hey, it's rough. Our rivers are rough, man.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a very, very challenging. Man,
in that stretch though, it's that stretch of the river is what's crazy.
We used to have some huge carp in that river at one time, way over 15 years ago, until there was this.
They had a fish kill.
Yeah, they had a big fish kill there. Some kind of chemicals that hit our rivers and just messed everything all up really bad. And then, but I feel like I'm hoping it's slowly coming back. So maybe one day, who knows? But
Ricky said 810.
Who?
Ricky said it was 8 pounds 10 ounces.
Oh, 8 pounds 10 ounces.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He said he's never weighed a mirror since he's done it.
Man, Steve, how do you say your last name?
Flew like your shit, Grat, like G-R-A-T, Pflugradt.
What again? Sorry. How you say?
It's flew like your shit,
okay,
and then Grat, like G-R-A-T.
Gotcha, Pflugradt. Gotcha. Okay, Steve Pflugradt. So real quick, for anglers that don't know you too much, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself? How long you've been carp fishing and all that kind of stuff? And
who caught that, Ricky?
What's that?
Ricky said that somebody caught a 26-pounder where Jamie was fishing at.
Oh. So yeah, go ahead, Steve.
So my name's Steve. I'm from Northwest Missouri, born and raised in small town Northwest Missouri. Grew up fishing for just about anything, honestly, and even to this day, probably my #1 passion is pan fishing. I love carp fishing more than anything, but I grew up cutting my teeth fishing for bluegill and stuff. And,
there you go.
And even now, when I get the opportunity, it's just stupid little kid grin on my face the whole time.
Just watch that bobber go down.
I like to go out and chase the bluegill and goof off, but I love soaking baits for carp. I love chasing carp. Got my first taste of carp fishing at a pay lake. There was a pay lake that was about halfway between my house and my mom's work, and she would drop me off there sometimes on her way to work, and I'd give me some money so I could pay for my rods and a ball of bait and a sandwich from the snacks, and I would sit there through the day and do my fishing, and man, I loved it. It was my first taste of a big fish, and I think I set my first PB there of. And of course they had prizes and stuff. They had weekly tournaments, and just for you came and you got paid to fish, then you got in the weekly tournament, and they had a monthly tournament for the biggest fish, and the weekly tournament. If you won the weekly tournament, you got like a free day of fishing, and the monthly tournament was like $100. Second place was like $50, and I mean we're talking about late '90s here, so. $50 in 90s, 94, 95, 96. That was good money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was always out there when I had the chance chasing it, and I think I might have gotten a second place one time, but it was fun and I enjoyed it, and there were fish there, and there was a bunch of old men there that taught me a lot of stuff, and that was more than anything what I probably enjoyed.
Nice.
I wouldn't have told you that at the time, but looking back now, it's like, yeah, that's why I was there. I was there. It was fun to listen to and talk to. Moved on from that. I got really deep into fly fishing in my late teens and through my 20s and 30s. Was deeply involved in the fly fishing industry. Worked as a commercial tire for a little while. Tied for some different shops.
Nice.
Did some time for umpqua and blackies and some different stuff like that. Got deep into fly fishing for carp.
That's what I was about to ask.
Did a lot of stuff with that, and then just kind of fell back off of those things. I had some injuries and stuff, and my body breaking down and just getting older to the point that I had some stuff I wasn't able to do like I could a few years ago, and so I kind of started to go back to the bait world, you know, go back to the tin chucker side, quote unquote, and so I discovered Euro style carp fishing.
There you go.
I've been at the Euro style carp fishing for about 5 years now. 4 years, 5 years, about 5 years now. I keep seeing memories popping up on my Facebook of, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, my kids and I out fishing, and with carp in our hands. And so, you know, about 5 years now, I've been back into carp fishing with bait and you know, the Euro style. And I just so happened shortly after I kind of started picking it up, this guy messaged me out of the clear blue sky on Facebook. Hey man, I see you're you know, posting online and on these Facebook pages in the general Kansas City area. We got this group of carp fishermen specifically, you know, in the Kansas City area. You know, you want to come check us out? You want to be one of us? And I'm like, hell yeah, bro, let's go. So that was Kevin. Kevin drug me into the group. We've got a pretty active group.
Yeah.
We actually have what we call our core group of about I think about 15 or 20 of us that are very active. You know, we're out fishing regularly, super regularly, and you know, we don't always get together as a group.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times it's onesies and twosies, and you know, somebody will post up on a Wednesday and hey, I'm headed out Saturday, or even on a Friday night, hey, I'm headed out tomorrow. Who's going? Where are you going?
Yeah.
You know, let's hook up. Let's fish somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, once in a while we'll get together. You know, we did a club tournament this year. Was super cool. We actually have the KCCA, the Kansas City Carp Anglers YouTube page. I worked as the marshal. I didn't fish it this year. I worked as the marshal for the tournament, and I ran around with a GoPro on the dash of my car, and then would pick it up and go away fish. I tell you what, we caught so many stinking fish at that tournament.
Yeah.
Those guys kept me running wild for 2 days, because we fished Thursday evening until Saturday. Thursday evening at, I think it was 4 or 5 on Thursday evenings when we started, and then we fished until noon on Saturday. You know, somebody was changing spots, and
wow.
Sometimes it was one spot up, sometimes it's 2 spots up, and then, you know, 10 minutes later somebody else would call, or you know, I'd have 5 fish I needed to go weigh, and I'm, you know, hit this one, that guy moves, I go hit this one, that guy moves and bumps that guy back down. Whew. They kept me going. But the video that we put on YouTube, we cut it down a whole bunch. We still had, I think, over an hour of footage in that video, and it's literally me just complaining about driving my car around this little bitty, like 30-something acre lake, chasing these guys in a circle, getting all these fish. And we actually had probably one of the coolest things we had at that whole tournament. We had a mirror that we caught several mirrors out of that lake, so it wasn't super uncommon for that. But we had a mirror that Kevin caught at 7-something o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, another angler a quarter mile away by water caught the exact same fish.
No kidding.
Yeah, super, super cool, because I took a photo of both fish. I was there when the fish was landed both times. I actually have video of the fish being landed the first time when Kevin caught it. And he took a picture of the photo, or I took a photo of the fish. The fish was facing to his right, so to the left of my camera. And then later on when Matthew caught it, Matthew held up the fish and the fish was facing to his right, so to the left of my camera. And after I took that photo, I said, dude, Kevin caught that fish. And he says, how do you know? And I said, I took the picture. I swear, I was there when he landed it. This is the coolest thing. So, yeah, that was really neat. I mean, fish was not super remarkable other than the fact that it was a mirror. But it was a recapture, just a handful of hours, 6-something hours in between the two, which for me was super cool. To the simple fact to prove that, hey, all this carp care stuff that we're preaching, you know, have a good mat, you know, fish out of the water, keep them wet, photograph, release, move on the fly, make sure they're healthy. That stuff works. Not only does it work, it apparently works super good, because that fish is still feeding actively just a handful of hours later.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome.
That's really what it's all about.
That's a good tournament there.
Just somebody being able to actually catch that again.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned something about fly fishing. Wow, that's I always thought fly fishing is like a work of art to me. It's all
tedious. I bet
it's a dance of idiocy. You know, it takes a lot of work. And in my area, it's really difficult because, you know, you see a lot of guys talking about fly fishing for carp in Michigan, you know, where they're out on these big gravel and sand flats, or mud flats for that matter, in really nice clear waters. And they're, you know, sight fishing for specific fish. They're targeting a single individual fish, or they're on a river somewhere, you know, and the water is semi-transparent. Whereas, you know, where I live in northwest Missouri, about the clearest water we have is about that of chocolate milk. Yeah. You know, I
feel like that's our rivers too, a little bit.
Yeah, our shit's dirty.
Most of what we have is on a really, really good day, 6 inches of visibility, and that's a super clear lake. 6 to 8 inches of visibility around here, and that thing's clear. Super clear. You know, most of the time you're 2 to 3 inches. And I'm right next to a less than a 5-minute drive from where I'm sitting right now on my back porch. The Missouri River. And it holds some beasts of fish. Big grass carp. Big grass carp. You know, I've caught a 30 plus out of there on the fly rod.
Yeah, that's big.
How was that fight?
It was questionable to say the least, because the way we used to do it was to get in a canoe.
Okay. You wore that thing out.
Yeah, we'd get in the canoe and we'd head downstream, and we'd stop in the eddies and we'd fish it. We'd fish for clopping or you know, visibly feeding fish, or areas where there were visibly feeding fish. And we were out there doing that one time. We were watching some fish that were working what we call a scum line. Basically, it's the slack water where the moving water meets the water moving the other direction in an eddy. It'll create a slack line, and there will be a lot of trash that'll come up and hold there. And commons and grassies and a little bit of everything will come up and feed in that scum line. And so we were watching fish that were coming up in there, and I was waiting for a fish to come up to make a cast, and I had the line just laying in the water behind me slack. And my buddy that was paddling for me at the time said, there he is, make the cast. And I went to pick up the line to make the cast, and I started pulling, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm snagged on something. And I smacked, you know, just kind of went to yank it to get the hook free, and all of a sudden my snag moved and pulled back. And it was on after that. We chased that fish 2 eddies downstream, about a half a mile.
Oh, wow.
Because he instantly went straight into the channel of the river, which right here where we're at, the channel of the river is roughly about 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile wide. It carries a constant about 7-mile-an-hour downstream current in the channel, and that fish hit the channel and took me into backing in seconds. And I said, we got to chase it, we got to chase it, we got to chase it. So we took out into the main channel of the river, chased it downstream, and we're able to, it started to head towards an eddy. And so we got into that eddy, and I was able to actually fight it into the eddy with us. And then we were able to get it both sides. Well, the problem that we ran into was we had never caught a fish over about 12 or 13 pounds.
Exactly.
and we were absolutely not prepared.
Yeah.
The net we had was definitely not big enough. But we got its head and its front fins in that net.
Wow.
That was about the end of that. And I held on to its tail while he held the net, and we let the current literally just blow us into the bank. And then we were able to dump the fish into the boat, got up onto a sandbar, got it out, got a couple of pictures, and actually did release that fish.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, see.
So it was pretty cool.
Now,
but it was definitely
the fish are dinosaurs, man.
And my nerves.
Now the grassies, oh my God, they'll fight to the death. Just about.
They will. They absolutely will. And they'll sky hop a lot too. You'll get a lot of them that'll come out of the water.
Right.
I've had them jump over the canoe, like through the middle of the canoe.
Wow.
They're pretty awesome.
And they, of course, they got that torpedo body and all that stuff. What? And they, like I said, they will fight with all their might. What was your test line on your? What test line did you use? And what was your test line size?
The way we typically run a rig on the Missouri River is we'll run I run a 10-weight rod for the simple fact that the fish out there they're used to fighting a very, very strong current. Okay. So whenever we fish out there, we always fish with my 10-weight rods.
Yeah.
I won't take anybody out that'll use anything less than an 8-weight, just because you need that backbone.
Okay, gotcha. 8 ounce.
Even on a small fish, just to turn it. And so when we go out, we'll run that, your fly line, and then we run into about 3 feet of a furled leader that I'll build with, I build it actually with 17-pound Suffolk Siege.
Okay.
And then I actually run about a 4-foot section of tippet material that's also built with 17-pound Suffolk Siege.
Wow.
I like the line. It's a good line. It's semi-stiff, which helps to kind of catch that loop with a fly rod, lay that fly out there nice and clean.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's got plenty of abrasion resistance and stretch and all that stuff for all the trash that you're going to get into out there, because you never know. You got rocks, you got sticks, you got who knows what else down there. You know, pickup trucks, maybe. There's no telling what's down at the bottom of that river.
Yeah, real quick, people that's watching, if you guys got any questions for Steve, please let us know. If you know about carp angling, anything about the Kansas City Carp Anglers. Man, I tell you, when you guys came to Indianapolis, it was a good honor to meet you guys.
Especially because I met him too.
Yeah, let's like the Kansas.
It's like I told you while I was there at the tournament, when we were all standing there talking, you and Ricky and Kenny Mack, and we were all standing there talking. And I said, man, I ain't here for the fish.
Yeah,
you know, the fish is a bonus. It's about, for me, it's about the brotherhood. You know, it's about getting together and hanging out.
Exactly.
You know, seeing the guys and supporting everybody else that does this too.
Yeah.
You know, we have our tournament coming up here in October.
Yeah.
You know, and
the third annual.
I appreciate being on here so that you can help support that.
Yeah.
You know, and one of these days I'm going to make you come fish it.
Yeah, we got to. I got, as a matter of fact, I got the flyer in my hand right now. It's October 3rd through the 6th in 2024. It's first place $3,000. Woo, dog.
Yep.
That's some money.
Second place $1,500. Third place.
Teams are between one of 2 teams, right? And
one, you can either come as an individual or a 2-man team.
A $500 entry. Wow. And this is your 3rd time running this type of tournament.
Yep. We promoted it before.
Yeah. We
Yep.
did.
We were here last year doing the same thing.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, you guys came to our carp chili meet.
Yep, both last year and this year.
How many more spots is available?
Right now, and I'm looking just so that I can make sure that I tell you the right number.
Right.
Said there's a total of 16 teams.
Yeah, a total of 16 teams, and I think I have 10 or 11. Where are my...
Okay. So you're just looking for 5 more teams.
Yeah, there we go. Whoops, slide. Oh, nope, that's not the one. It's in here somewhere.
It's a 3, what? How many hours is the tournament?
There it is. We will run, let's see. Yes, I do. I have 11 spots filled right now.
Yeah.
And I'll take 16. So I got 5 more spots available. $500 to get in.
Right.
You know, and everybody always asks me, hey, what's it, you know, what's $500 to get me? Well, $500 gets you a spot in the tournament.
Yeah.
It gets you a t-shirt. We do t-shirts every year for all the anglers.
That's awesome.
So, you know, and they're not cheesy t-shirts. They're pretty solid.
Yeah.
We do, we're actually, last year for the first time we tried something. We had a little bit of leftover money after the prize pots were all filled and everything was good to go there because we'd cut some costs on a couple other things.
Right.
So we had some leftover money, and I said, hey, man, you know, this is the second year that we've been in this community.
Right.
And other than just bringing our anglers to this community, we're not helping support this community in any way. Let's do what we can.
Right.
So we reached out to a local bakery that was at the location that we had the tournament last year.
Yeah. And
said, hey, you know, we've got a bunch of people coming in. This lady made the most amazing cinnamon rolls. And for anybody that was there last year that had a cinnamon roll, bro, you know, those cinnamon rolls were fire. So we reached out and I said, hey, you know, I'm gonna have all these people here. You know, we're gonna have upwards of, you know, 25 people here. I need cinnamon rolls for everybody. I think we ended up ordering 3 dozen cinnamon rolls from the lady.
Yeah.
And she got us cinnamon rolls. We had them out for the anglers when they came in the morning. And then that was Thursday morning. We start the tournament Thursday morning at we start the angler check-in at 7, usually by 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Right.
We're doing the safety meeting, and by 10 o'clock we're fishing.
Nice.
I think we're going to shoot to shorten that a little bit this year, but we'll see kind of how things go. I want to get fishing started as soon as we possibly can, and I think we actually started early last year. I think we started around 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you gave, I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but I mean, you just gave me a good idea. I think for our next White River tournament or Fall Carp Classic, we got this donut shop called Long's Bakery. Long's Donuts.
Yeah, I got donuts from there when we were out for the chili meet.
Isn't that an awesome place?
Let me tell you what. Those are donuts, bud. That's
man,
place.
That's one of our top.
Yeah, it is one of our
top bakeries or donut places in Indianapolis. I should get at least a couple dozen donuts just for that tournament early in the morning. You know, maybe some milk and coffee, whatever.
So do you guys do this on? You guys hosting this on a river or a lake?
It's a lake. So the lake that we'll be hosting it at this year is the it is Brown County Lake. It's got some pretty special fish in it. The reason we moved it is kind of twofold. One, we wanted to add some additional pegs, and the lake we were at, legitimately, we had 10 anglers there. We had originally said that we were going to have a maximum of 12 pegs at that lake.
Yeah.
Legitimately, the way I feel about it and the way I felt about it last year at the start of the tournament and looking at what we had, I just did not feel like even 10 pegs was really a great idea. There was a couple of pegs in that area that were extremely, extremely challenging to fish. And had it not been for the absolute tenacity, just absolute knockdown, drag-out spirit of Craig Cook, who won our tournament last year. Yeah. Nobody should have caught a fish at the peg that he was at.
No kidding.
He was weeded in for probably about 70 yards in every direction of him. He went out, he started leading his spot, and he came to me Thursday right around lunch, and he says, hey, I'm going to run into town. I got to go buy a rake. And I said, bro, I got a rake right here. I got a hard tooth rake right here on the back of on my trailer. I had a 4-wheeler for running around the lake and weighing fish. And he says, I says, you need one here. You can have this one. You can use this one. And he went over there and literally took a rake and walked out into the water about chest deep and raked out a spot that was about 10 feet.
Dude,
by 10 feet.
That's a hell of an angler. Just to come.
Yeah.
I mean, that's top notch.
And the guy didn't catch a fish until probably halfway through the second day, or a little bit more than halfway through the second day. But he was consistently catching big fish.
Wow.
Because it was the only clean spot in probably, I don't know, better than an acre of nothing but 4 feet of water and weeds.
Wow. Wow.
So he ended up winning our tournament last year, actually, from his spot, and that was absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait. He was actually the very first one when I posted the sign-ups. The very first guy to message me that he wanted in and send me a deposit. Boom, he was on, set, ready to go, and I could not have been more excited when he did. But the lake that we're moving to this year, Brown County, it's a lot cleaner lake for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as
mossy.
It's not as weedy. It's better, easily accessible for the anglers. You know, it is some technical fishing still, which I like that aspect. I don't want anybody to come out and just, oh yeah, this is going to be a cakewalk. You know, I'll just reel in fish the whole time. I hope they do reel in fish the whole time, but I don't want it to be easy for them.
How do you do your...
This lake can be snaggy. There's brush in the lake. There's rock in the lake. There's a few pegs that'll have some big lotus mats close to the pegs. You won't have to fish only in those though, because those pegs have the ability to get either on the edges of those lotus mats or even out into the deeper whole portions of the lake. You know, that's why I really wanted to move to this lake, is just for the fact that the opportunities at every single peg are almost dead equal all the way around. There's really nothing that one peg holds an advantage over the top of another at all.
So how do you guys do the draw?
Yeah, how you do the draw?
So we do a double blind. The way we do the draw is it's double blind. You'll show up, and some way, shape, or form, we will number all the people that show up for the tournament. Whether that's for the first year, what was it? The first year when they showed up, you showed up and you drew a card out of a deck of cards. And I think we had 8 anglers the first year, and the cards were 1 through 8. And so you randomly drew a face-down card off the top of the table. You took that card and put it in your pocket, and then after everybody was there, that was the order, whatever number card you had, 1 being, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that was the number in which you drew your peg.
Okay.
And then the way you drew your peg was you came up, and we literally had our pegs laid out, ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, so on and so forth. And we had all the cards laid out on the table, mixed up, and you just came up and picked a peg. You pulled it up, that's your peg. That's what you get.
So, what is your bank space? How much bank space do you guys get?
It's a little variable because some of the pegs are really big.
Yeah.
So we're splitting those pegs.
Okay.
And some of the pegs aren't as big, and those will be individual. So this lake has fishing piers. Kansas is really cool about their lakes. They actually go out and lay in these big rock dikes, big rock piers. They go out into the lake, off of the bank, off of the weed bank. So you can walk out into the lake on this big rock pier. Well, some of these piers are, 15, 16 feet wide. And actually one of the piers at this lake that we'll be at Brown County is probably close to, 40 yards long, 40 or 50 yards long. They're pretty expansive. So we'll actually set up our anglers on those bigger, wider piers, and then we're going to paint a stripe down the center of those piers. That'll be about 40 feet long, and then we'll stripe off the back side of it, So we'll have like peg 1A and peg 2B, or 1B. So you have peg 1A and peg 1B. You're on the same pier. One of you gets the left side A, and one of you gets the right side B. Okay. You'll both get the same length. It is a limited to 2 rods per angler tournament, or per team tournament. So 2 rods per entry in the tournament.
Is that law? Is that what's the law there? Is it 3 by law? Or?
So the Kansas law is actually 2 with a regular fishing license. You can purchase an additional 3rd rod fishing license. Right. We wanted to do this for 2 reasons. One, we're going to have 16 anglers on the lake, and 32 rods is a lot of pressure in the water. Okay. The difference of 32 rods and 48 rods is pretty big in my opinion. Yeah. Plus, that's an additional cost to all of my anglers to come down to buy the license and then to buy the additional 3rd rod license, and it makes it easier. I think it puts a little extra pressure on the anglers. Right. As much as I hate to do that to anglers, I like to do that to anglers. Like I say, I don't want it to be easy on anybody.
It makes whoever wins
a challenge.
Yeah, it makes everybody earn it more.
Yeah, challenge for your wallet. Work harder.
Yeah, you've got your spots to pick, 2 of them, where you fish. So, get out there and get it done and get serious about it and do it quickly. The thing is, though, what's really cool about our anglers is, some of the guys that I've got coming in, I've got, let's see, let me jump back to my list here so I can run through the list of individuals that I've got. Where'd it go? I mean, I've got Craig coming back. He'll be my first returning champion. Okay. That is super exciting for me.
What was his big 4?
What was his last year?
Yeah, what was his big 4?
I would have to scroll way down to find that one. There it is. There it is. Actually, it's not even that far.
There you go.
Let's see. Craig, 77 pounds.
Wow.
Dead even. He had a 2014, an 18.4, a 19.13, and an 18.1.
Now what was the big fish for the tournament?
He took the big fish for the tournament with the 2014.
Okay.
Nice.
And there were bigger fish in that lake that we fished last year. Right. The year before, Paul Scott actually he won the tournament and took the big fish. Caught a 26.14.
He's a pretty good angler.
There were bigger fish in that lake.
What about the lake that you guys are going to fish this year? You got bigger hopes?
Yeah, I've got some really high hopes for that. There's some guys in the club that, I've personally taken a couple of 20s out of that lake. I've put a couple of 20s on the mat from that lake, 20-plussers on the mat. There's been a couple of 30s on the mat from that lake, so I'm really hopeful to maybe see those fish come out. I really think that it doesn't matter where you go. Right. If you have the right mindset and if you stick to a plan from the word go to the word stop, I think you are a wild card. Yeah. The guy that I have to shout out to just because I love him and he's one of my favorites is my Mr. Catfish, Anik. Anik, if you're out there and listening, thank you. I appreciate you. He is now my 2-time and 3rd time returning, or 2nd time returning, but 2-time 3rd place winner. And he fishes a very unique way. Right. He comes out, he formulates a plan. He doesn't get into the water real quick. He doesn't start baiting real quick. He's very meticulous, very calculated. He sets his plan. He gets his lines out, and he sticks to it, and he won't come off of it for anything. And I mean, twice now, it's put him in 3rd place.
Wow.
So I always feel like when a meet comes out, no matter what, you know, when he signed up, he was my 2nd sign up this year. And when he signed up, I was like, there we go. There's the wild card. There's the one guy that you don't expect that'll just all of a sudden make it happen. And that's exactly what he did last year. He was very slow to start. He struggled a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 he's putting fish on the mat.
He's learning.
And then
he's learned the lake.
His swim shut down.
For anybody out there that's watching, how can they get a hold of you if they want to fill in some of them slots or fill in a couple of them slots?
All you got to do, just search Harvest Moon Classic or KCCA Harvest Moon on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. Request to join. I'll approve you instantly. Boom, you're in. Shoot me a message. Find me on Facebook. You know, James, you've got me tagged in about a half a dozen different things there. I've tagged you in a handful of things as well. You know, find me on Facebook. Shoot me a message. You know, there's enough people out there. You know, just holler at me. Get a hold of me. I'll get you added to the page if I need to. If you can find it, I'll add you up real quick. There's like 5 different admins that can add you, and they'll add you just as quick as they can, or I will. You know, and you can shoot me a message. We do a $250 deposit. The deposit holds your spot.
Okay.
Locks that in, and then when you get to the tournament, remainder of the 500, obviously, do at the time of sign up. Where you come in, you sign a waiver, you sign a media release. And we go through the angler safety meeting where we go through all the rules for the tournament, and then we release you guys out to fish. We'll start Thursday morning.
Okay, that's
and
my
we
question.
will not stop fishing until Sunday morning.
Really?
We'll have 70 something hours of fishing nonstop.
Wow. Now, are you taking like donations and stuff like that, like from flavor companies and stuff like that? Door prizes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm more than welcome. You know, more than willing to chit chat, talk, and entertain offers. I don't really seek that kind of stuff out just because I don't know. It's just we haven't had a need for it, and the way that we set up our payouts. Yeah. You know, we don't return, and I'm not shy about it. I don't return 100% to anglers, but every single dollar that comes into this, in one way, shape, or form, goes back to the anglers. I keep nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even keep enough for my gas.
Yeah.
I keep absolutely nothing for this, and I'm not worried about it at all. It doesn't bother me because for me. Brandon Kim came out and fished our tournament last year, and the one thing he said over and over and over about our tournament was the family atmosphere that our tournament had was something so unique that he'd never experienced before, that he was so excited about that he couldn't wait to come back to next year's, and he signed up for this year. So
who's his teammate?
We'll see Brandon and Carpy Commando at the tournament this year, and I'm really excited about that. So.
Who's his teammate?
I don't know if he's bringing one or not.
Okay. All right. Loner.
He came out and ran it solo last year. You know, and that's the other thing too with our tournament. The only advantage you really gain, because it's
sleep.
2 rods per paid entry. It doesn't matter whether it's one guy, two guys. It's still 2 rods per paid entry.
Right.
And you hit the nail on the head. The only advantage you gain from our tournament with an additional angler was the ability to go lay down and sleep soundly.
Especially with 2 rods. You know what I mean? Because one person can handle 2 rods.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, easily. And you know, most of the pegs will be right next to another peg, or very close to another peg. So if you were to get a run and you were to need some help with netting a fish, and you know, a neighboring angler can certainly come help you net a fish if you need that help. We don't allow our marshals in any way, shape, or form to assist in landing or helping get a fish onto the bank. Once that fish is in the net and on the bank, you know, that's kind of free game. We can help you move it into a sling. We can do all those things. But if a tournament tournament director or tournament marshal assists you in landing that fish is null and void. We do not scale that fish. You know, I feel like that's an unfair advantage to everybody else because I don't, and I also don't want to get into a situation where one of my marshals or director like myself goes to help you net a fish, you know, that could have been a tournament winning fish, and they bump it with a net and the hook comes flying out and that's over. And that would put us in a very unique spot. I feel like if it's a fellow angler, it's a gentleman's sport. You know, it's a gentleman's sport, guys. Let's act like gentlemen. If a mistake happens, and it hurts, but you got to move on. And I won't say that it has happened, but it may have last year. And
so that's where the rule came from.
There were no hurt feelings. There were just there was some damaged and bruised pride, you know, and we're still laughing about it now. So,
do you guys have a blackout session, and you guys have an app or anything like that that helps you keep track of like who's winning and what's been weighed in?
What we do, so the way we do our tournament is we do communication via two-way radio, walkie-talkies.
Okay.
All of the tournament directors and marshals have walkie-talkies. And then all of the anglers, when you show up to the tournament and you sign in, you're given a little pouch. I found these really cool little zipper pouches for like 10 cents a piece on AliExpress last year. And I bought a whole bunch of them. And I can put a two-way radio and about 3 changes of batteries in it, and you can zip it up.
Nice.
And then you pick that up and you put that in your pocket. That's your communication with me. And that's my communication with you. So if there is something that comes up, we have some kind of a weather emergency, I have the ability to contact all of you without having to message you or call you on your phone. I can make contact with you instantly, and you can get that information. And if you need to weigh a fish, hey, I got a fish over here at peg 5, I need a marshal. We're on our way. Or I have a medical emergency at peg 3. Well, we are all on our way, big fast hurry line. So,
yeah. So what about the blackout? Do you guys do a blackout at all?
What's blackout? Explain.
A blackout is like an hour at the end of the tournament, just to kind of keep the
They do it like last 6 hours.
Or 6 hours. Well, in our tournament, we do the last hour, but but I can see what you're saying.
Where nothing gets
where you shut it down so nobody knows what's happening on the board.
Which leaves everybody suspenseful.
Gotcha. I'm actually looking into using the same app that they used for the Wild Carp Classic.
Okay.
Because that's actually a really cool little app, and it's actually very accessible and very inexpensive. So I'm looking at using that app, but my problem is where we're having the tournament, we have very little to no
reception.
No reception. It sits in an awkward hole in the middle of nowhere. So it's kind of a blackout zone all by itself. But yeah, we kind of do that. You know, we don't really keep everybody updated on the weights and how everybody's doing.
Right.
A lot of times we'll call out, the weight of a fish across the radio so that our marshals can score that fish on the board. And there's guys that kind of keep a little notepad and follow along as it goes, so they kind of know where everything stands. But we're talking about doing that app setup this year.
It does keep track of everything. It's really cool.
Yeah, we use a dry erase board. We got a great big dry erase board, 3 foot by 4 foot dry erase board that we use.
I used to do that.
Now that we have more anglers, I think we're actually looking at buying another one of those. If we go that route this year. And if not, then we're going to use that app that the Wild Carp Classic used. My only issue is we've got to come up with a way to have internet at that lake. So I got to look into Starlink.
Hot spot on your phone.
My next objective.
That's what I did. I might do something like that. Bring out the old whiteboard back out again. I like that.
Yeah, at the Westlake tournament.
That's Westlake tournament?
Yeah, at the Westlake tournament.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so James lives at this in an apartment complex where he manages the property and stuff for maintenance. And there's a big lake on there where we can probably put
over 20 carp anglers.
over 20 pegs.
Yeah, good size pegs too.
Yeah, good size pegs too. Because there's no way you're going to the other side unless you're using 12 or 13.
It's like a big oval lake.
Yeah.
And
there's been a lot of fish put in there over the years too.
Yeah.
By a lot of carp anglers.
20s,
Some lake owners too that had trucks and stuff. You know, they bring fish out there for the tournament for Jimmy from Westside Bait and Tackle because he got involved in it too.
Yeah.
But it's a hard lake to fish.
Yeah. Sometimes.
I mean, a hard lake to fish. I've only hooked a fish out there.
Nice.
And it came off. Came up to the top and came off.
A lot of carp anglers.
Only fish that would have been caught that day.
Yeah.
We got away.
But you know, yeah. But anyway, so like, how many? Just in your little club, your Kansas City Carp Anglers, how many club members do you have?
I think we're in the 40-something people range right now.
Wow.
I think we got 40-something odd people. And like I say, there's a core group that's active. That core group is, like I say, somewhere in the realm of 15 to 20 people.
Okay.
You know, as the weather changes, that number will drop a little bit because there's a few of us that are silly, and as long as the water's not too hard to get a lead through,
right,
we'll go out and fish anyway. And there's a handful of them that are like, nope, I'm going to pass on that. And you know what? I'm one of those guys that will go fish in that weather. I don't really blame the people that don't, because I love to be out there, but it gets a little miserable sometimes.
Okay, all right. Who do you all? There's a question about you, really. What is who do you look up to as a carp? You know, to a carp angler. I mean, who do you look up to? That inspired you a lot.
Carp angler?
Yeah, that inspired you.
I don't know. You know, as silly as this might sound, you know, there's some guys in the group that you know I always look up to a little bit. You know, and if they're listening,
that's
I
fine.
hope they're not right now. But, I don't need to inflate anybody's ego bigger than it already is. Let's be honest. Yeah. But to be perfectly blunt about it, I always have kind of looked up to Kevin a little bit.
Okay.
You know, definitely. He's an amazing angler.
Yeah.
You know, he really has a way. I mean, walked out to a water at your tournament that, you know, everybody said was tough to fish, and it definitely was. And laid it down and took home second place overall. That's pretty freaking impressive to me.
Yeah, he came second place here.
And just about every place the guy goes, he might not haul, but by God, he'll catch.
Yeah, it's hard to catch him during the daytime.
He's a very, very, very well-rounded angler, and he's been in the Euro style angling for a very long time, and really, really, really good at it. You know, he's got a lot of knowledge hidden away. And more than that, even, he's very, very humble about it. You know,
I can see that.
We always give everybody a hard time. You know, we always give him a hard time. You know that, you know, big bad carp angler. But you know, he really is very humble about how good of an angler he truly is. You know, there's another guy in the group, Lauren. Lauren's a phenomenal angler.
Okay.
And a great guy all the way around.
Yeah.
Ton of fun to hang out with and chat with. We talk on a pretty regular basis, and I fished with him plenty of times. You know, I would definitely say that I'd look up to Lauren. But as far as, you know, names in the business, names in the industry,
right?
You know, there's really nobody in carp fishing, quote unquote, that I would say I look up to.
Okay.
But the people that I looked up to, you know, growing up and that kept me out doing it, you know, were honestly the fly fishing guys that I checked out books from the library. You know, Lefty Cray.
Okay. Gotcha.
Was huge. And my Saturday morning ESPNs with flip pallet was probably my number one right there, because he did a couple of things where he was back in the glades and fishing, and he was chasing the panfish on a fly rod, and chasing, you know, weird, strange species that, you know, not everybody was out after. You know, these unique fish, in my mind, unique fish, but fish that when he would pick up, you know, most people see these as a trash fish, and nobody comes out and targets these fish. And look how beautiful it is, and look how hard it fights, and look how unique this fish really is. And in my head, I'm sitting on the couch at, you know, 12, 13 years old on Saturday morning going, bro, we've got unique fish, we've got beautiful fish. I can do this, man. If he can do this, I can do this.
Exactly.
And so then there I was in the library again, you know, checking out another book and reading and just trying to find more ways to develop what I could do in my own waters right out my back door.
Nice. What would you say your go-to flavors is for this time of year?
Right now, mulberry anything. The mulberries are about to start dropping.
It's already dropped,
or they are dropping right now. Probably it's just on the starting side. They usually start right around the weekend of Father's Day, which is coming up this weekend. If anybody forgets, go buy your dad a card.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know that usually right here in this area, mulberries are dropping right about this time. And I'm a sweet guy. I fish a lot of baits that are really sweet. I don't know if that helps me or if that hurts me, and I don't really care. It makes me happy, so I keep doing it.
Now I know I've asked this a lot on the show. Just different anglers, different, you know. Everybody has their own opinion. What color do you think carp see the best?
It all depends upon water clarity and how you're fishing for them. Coming from the fly fishing world, I have two go-tos: hot pink, and black. And when I used to fish a lot of the stained waters, and I was fly fishing for carp regularly, super regularly, you know, everybody used to tell me, man, what color do you use? Oh, man, I went back to the old Al Linder's segment, you know, when he was talking about fishing up north. Man, you can come up here and use any color you want as long as it's chartreuse.
Yeah.
You know, I would always say you can go out and fish these stained waters with any color you want as long as it's black. And that's because most of the time when you're fly fishing, you're chasing a fish that's looking up in some way, shape, or form. And there's no color that makes a better silhouette than black. Black makes an amazing silhouette. So everything in my boxes, you know, you'd open up my box and it looked like there was you know, some angry goth kid that tied all the flies in my boxes because everything in there was black.
And that'd be like what? Probably because it looked like a bug or something?
Nice.
Yeah, most of the time I was fishing, they were very, very basic patterns.
Right.
Nothing super, you know, intricate or fancy at all. Everything that I did and still to this day fish is very simple, quick to tie, easy to tie. You know, most kids could sit down and I could teach them to tie most of my patterns in the course of, you know, 5 to 10 minutes.
Right.
Really easily. And it's just because I spent so much time tying flies for the industry, where you got to tie a fly that not only catches fish but also will catch a fisherman. Because you can't sell them if you can't catch a fisherman too. That's the name of the game. Yeah. So I tie stuff that is super simple, super fast, super easy, and very effective at the exact same time. Like there's a little pattern called Bar's Rubber Leg.
Okay.
Or Pat's Rubber Leg, and it's a very basic stone fly pattern, and it just has a very buggy shape. You know, it's a tapered cylindrical pattern with rubber legs on it, and there's no discernible back to it. There's no, you know, carapace or this or that. A lot of times I tied it with a bead head because I needed the weight to get it down in faster water. But that was about as intricate as I would get, would be to put a bead on it so it would sink. Other than that, it's a super simple, basic fly with no frills or whistles to it at all. And I tied it with black chenille and black rubber legs, and fished the snot out of it and caught tons of fish on it.
Real quick, I want to say hi, Mom. She's watching.
Hi, Bob.
Okay, well, now the other question I want to ask is, what kind of bait, do you have a certain bait shop you guys go to around your area, or you guys just go ahead and do everything online for carp fishing?
We do everything online. We don't really have
carp bait.
Don't have the carp. We don't have the support of the local bait shops here. And to be honest with you, there's not very many of them around. There are a few, but for the most part, those bait shops are near very, very large lakes that we just don't get very close to. Because most of the shops that are out there are near lakes that are so large that they get a lot of bow hunting pressure, bow fishing pressure, and we just don't go chase those lakes. There's not a lot of point for us to go somewhere that's shot up real heavy already.
Yeah, we're sort of lucky here. We probably got good 6 bait shops that's a little bit pretty heavy in carp fishing here. So
you guys have a lot of local pay lakes though too, don't you?
There's mainly 3 just in the Indianapolis area.
We have one pay lake that I live about 15 minutes from.
Okay.
You could go there and absolutely, you can get hooked up with all kinds of, carp gear there, but it's a very small pay lake that, to be honest with you, we've talked about going there just to go there sometime, and we haven't. Maybe we should. We probably should. Just to have a presence of some kind. But we don't, and that's about the only place where you could go and get anything other than, and even in doing so, probably what we're going to run into a lot of there is going to be bill balls and treble hooks.
Right. Oh, really? Treble hooks, huh?
So
they're still stuck.
So we're not.
Stuck.
It's just not our. It's not our thing. It's not our style.
Yeah.
We're not trying to step on toes or make anybody upset. We do what we do, and we don't force anybody else into it.
Right. That's
we're willing to treat, but that's about as far as we'll go.
I had some neighbors today that was fishing right behind my place, and like I said, it's a good sized lake, and they're fishing for. There's a mulberry tree right around in the back area of mine, but I had some, like some neighbors, Hispanics and all that stuff, which did not speak any kind of English, but they knew how a little bit of fish, and of course they were fishing in the back for carp, and for fun, and you could tell they're just completely new to it. They don't understand, our style of carp fishing.
Yeah.
And of course, and then he was using a treble hook after he caught this carp, and with of course, put about 3 mulberries on the hook. So, and it's like, yeah, he caught it, but after seeing it,
so he caught a carp.
He caught a carp. Yeah, that was like his second one out there. They're really active right now. They're flying everywhere.
See, I'm trying to tell you, Westlake tournament, man.
Wow.
He's not gonna let that one die, dude.
He's not
gonna let it die.
Because it's a good lake, man. There's a bunch of fish in there
there's tons of.
There's tons of fish in there that's been put in there.
And I think the biggest known carp that I know that's in there is probably a 26-pounder. And that was caught from Gilbert.
Yeah, that's just what was caught though. So there's a 26 in there.
Oh yeah, but that was like
because there's a big
5 years ago, so it's probably even bigger.
It's a big lake.
Unless they got 8 and 2, so who knows? But there's also a beautiful koi in there too.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably a bunch in there though.
Yeah.
That people let pets and stuff go and they grow.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Oh yeah.
I seen during the spawning season, probably like last month. You know, I seen this beautiful koi hanging around. Like, oh wow, you know. I mean, he's probably maybe four or 5 pounds, but it's still.
Koi's a koi, man.
Yeah.
I haven't caught one yet.
I haven't either. Within our club, or just the team fish fighters, not to use your carpers, but just we do a trophy. Yeah, we do trophies at the end. Yeah, you've seen it probably at the
yeah.
And
yeah,
we give out
chili supper.
Yeah, and so it was just with the team, and we give out certain trophies within our team only, and we also have a plaque for, of course, it'll have the picture of the koi. We didn't get a koi at all last year, but I think a year before that, I think it was one of our teammates. It was Troy. Troy caught one, and also Jimmy Steve. He caught one.
Yep.
Real nice fantail koi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I never
caught a koi yet.
I never caught a koi or a fantail.
I got a couple in my fish tank, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've not got one. I'm on the quest. I'm on a quest for a couple of things this year, and koi is one of them. I actually think I've got a little spot not far from the house, and I'm considering going there Sunday. I may go out and try and hit that. And spend some time.
Send me a picture once you catch that thing. Would love to see
on my to-do list.
What's your PBs like? Common, mirror, in
PB
Buffalo, if you've ever caught
26 and a half.
Nice.
And PB mirrors 25 and some change, 25.10 or something like that.
Okay. But have you been to Dale Hollow?
I've not made it to the Hollow yet.
Okay.
Jamie and I are talking about maybe going towards the end of October.
Okay. Gotcha.
Good time to go in the fall too.
Yeah, fall time.
Yeah.
You ever caught a buffalo?
We're seriously trying to. Her and I are trying to hammer out some dates to do that. Speaking of Jamie, close friend of mine, and one of our KCCA members.
Yep.
She's super cool, and I just wanted to shout out and give a quick teaser. Her and I are going to be starting a podcast here sometime in the very near future.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say about it. That's it. But keep an eye out. We'll start pushing that when that gets closer.
Yeah,
nice.
We'll watch that too. We'll help you share it along.
Yeah.
Share it. Same.
For sure.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll have to have you guys on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I don't think we've ever been on nobody else's podcast.
No, we haven't.
That's what I told Jamie. I said, hey man, we put this together. I mean, we've already got a laundry list of guys to have on. They've had me on. I said, we got all the team fish fighters guys. We gotta have them on. And some other stuff there too. So.
Yep.
I don't know how it would feel to be on the other side of the table.
Somebody asking us questions.
Yeah, somebody asking us questions.
But man, there was a couple other good questions I was going to say too. Now you got all you need is about 5 more teams within your tournament, right?
Yep, 5 more teams and lock the tournament down.
And that's it.
The food, kind of how we pay all of our anglers. Make sure that we use all of their money. We do some side prizes and some other little weird stuff.
Okay.
We have a Get the Net award every year for the biggest catfish. Because it's inevitable, guys. So to be honest, you about can't have a carp tournament. The first fish I caught at your tournament was a 2.5 pound, 2 pounds and 9 ounce channel cat.
Yeah.
So you about can't have a carp tournament and somebody not catch a catfish.
Yeah.
So we've got a Get the Net prize that we give away every year, and we give away a net. Because let's be honest, every time you catch a catfish, nobody wants to put that stupid thing in the net.
Yeah.
I'm probably the world's worst. I'll bank swing them all day long.
Yeah.
But every now and again, you get one that you can't bank swing, so you've got to get the net out. Get your net all catfish lined up.
I caught 5 last week.
We do a Get the Net award, and we give away a really nice brand new net. Last year I had a really nice Fox 42-inch specimen net. A year before it was a Dinsmore 42-inch specimen net. I don't know what I've got this year yet. I'm still working on that. I usually wait to the very last minute to find my net because I've been eyeballing them off and on here and there, trying to find the right one.
Yeah.
So, but we'll also do, we do usually some kind of a, we're going to do some kind of a breakfast, some kind of something to eat at the beginning of the tournament for the sign-ins and all that. And then one of the mornings, I think last year we did Saturday morning, we ran into town and there was a bar. There was a bar in town near the lake that we were fishing at last year that had a biscuit and gravy breakfast.
Okay.
And so we drove into town and we ordered, I think it was 20, I think we ordered 2 dozen. I think we ordered 2 dozen orders of biscuits and gravy.
Man, I've had biscuits
and then drove around the lake and handed out everybody hot biscuits and gravy. And I'll tell you what, it was hot. It was so hot and miserable at our tournament last year. But you could see the light in everyone's eyes when we were handing out biscuits and gravy. Everybody just,
that's
like
fuel.
Home cooked food. Oh God, they were so excited about biscuits and gravy on Saturday morning. And it brings everybody up, everybody it was hot, it was miserable, everybody had been hiding from the sun and everybody's starting to get down. The bite was a little off and kind of come and go. And, Saturday morning everybody woke up, guys are spent, wore out from, 2 days of fishing already. And here we are with a smile on our face and biscuits and gravy in a styrofoam box in our hands. These guys couldn't have been happier.
Wow.
So
now, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do that again this year. We've actually partnered with Hiawatha, Kansas, which is really close to where we're having the tournament. It's about a 15-minute drive away. There's a little diner there in that town called the Bread Bowl, and I've already talked to them about having some stuff for breakfast. They do a lot of bakery stuff, so they're going to do some stuff for us for all of our anglers the morning of the tournament start, and then one morning or possibly one afternoon. I haven't decided yet fully. We're going to do some kind of a meal for all of our anglers, whether that's going to be, we've even talked so far as going to like fried chicken one evening, like possibly Friday evening or something to that effect for all the anglers. Or, I don't know. I haven't really decided, and we're kind of just still on the fence with that, but we're hammering those details out right now.
Sweet.
It sounds like a good tournament, man.
Do you guys have are you allowed to camp and use tents and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, where we're going right now this year, previously we were fishing at a lake that was owned by a city.
Okay.
So we were kind of restricted on some of the things we could do.
Yeah.
And those restrictions kind of hampered us a tiny bit, but not a lot.
Right.
Because the city was very, very open and willing to allow us to kind of do what we wanted to do, which was super cool.
Yeah.
But we did have to keep everybody in nothing bigger than a tent, a bivvy. We could set up our bivvies or tents and we were set to go. Where we're going right now, it is a state lake, and they do allow camping in the form of tents or a camper. So if somebody had, a camper, a small camper of some kind, more than welcome to bring that and actually post up in that. Now, how exactly close to your
peg
you can get with that is a little bit dependent. But I think your worst case scenario would be in about, couple 100 feet range. I think that would be about your worst case scenario. You'd be just a couple 100 feet away. 70, 70 yards at the most.
Wow. Nice.
Most of those pegs are going to be real close to where you can park your car. Some of them, you could, some of the individual pegs on the piers,
Michael?
all of the piers are big enough that you can drive a car out onto it. Wow. Every single pier there is big enough you can drive your car out and park your car on, which is nice.
Both A and B?
The split piers, you wouldn't be able to do that, like park a camper right there on the pier, because you've got to share that area with another angler.
Right.
But you could go right up to the edge of it and park your stuff right next to it, and that would put you, for the most part, very, very close to your setup. But some of the individual piers, yeah, you could absolutely, you know, if you had a small little pop-up or something to that effect, there's no reason why you couldn't just park your camper and fish right out of it.
Well, heck yeah.
Now, the tournament that you guys had last year, how many anglers did you have?
10.
10? Now, did all 10 teams fill their top, their big four?
No, we actually had a couple of teams that didn't even score a fish. And it was, like I say, the fishing was a little unique last year. We had 3 teams that didn't put carp on the board.
Right.
We have a new award that will be coming out this year because one of our teams, which is 2 very close friends of mine, Isaac and Brian, if you're listening, shout out. What up, dudes?
What's up, guys?
Brian, Isaac, see you tomorrow at work. I also work with them. They're good guys. But they actually inspired us to create a new award. Brian inspired us to create a new award for this year called the Heartbreak Award.
Heartbreak Award.
Yeah. Brian actually was his first time fishing our tournament. Now Isaac, who fished it our first year, took 3rd.
Yeah.
His first time ever even going out very, very specifically to target carp. Came out, set up, got to it, and put fish on the mat, put 3 fish on the mat, took 3rd place in our tournament the first year he came out. Last year they blanked, him and Brian blanked, but Brian broke off 3 fish last year.
Wow.
So he inspired us to create a new award this year called the Heartbreak Award. I'm not at liberty to disclose what will be the prize for that particular award, but we have some really, really cool ideas, and it's going to be fun.
So what is that? How do you win the Heartbreak Award?
So the way you win the Heartbreak Award is anytime you break off a fish, we're going to put we're going to go ahead and run our dry erase boards no matter what, so we can kind of keep track of a couple different things.
Right.
One of them being the Heartbreak Award, but we got a whole bunch of Band-Aids. So anytime you break off a fish, we're going to put a Band-Aid on your peg for you on the board, and then we'll see who has the most Band-Aids at the end of the tournament for the Heartbreak Award. So that way we can kind of encourage everybody to report those break-offs, because there is an award for that.
That's funny. That's funny. I like that.
Now you're definitely going to hear a lot about the one that got away.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, I think we had, I just had it pulled up here. Let's see. Magic Carp, that was Brian, and Massey also came up blank. Yeah. Oh, and Brandon Kim, of all people, actually came up blank at the tournament last year.
Oh, no kidding. There was that. Even at our tournament that we had here, there's a lot of carp anglers. I was really kind of surprised they didn't catch a fish, which that's fishing. That's what happens.
Yeah, it's called fishing, not catching.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some carp anglers that's just basically got a horseshoe shut up their ass, and it's like, damn, how the hell you did that?
Don't talk about Justin Keaton like that.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, I didn't put a carp on the mat, but I caught that catfish.
You caught something?
I caught like a 3.5 pound red horse.
Yeah, red horse.
I caught another red horse that was somewhere close to twice the size of the first one. I never put it on the scale because I knew it was way bigger than the first one.
Right.
I had it, and I got some pictures of it at the end of the tournament because I didn't know where we were at with the off species.
Yeah.
And so I had that one in my sack because I also wanted a picture of it because I'd never caught one before.
Yeah.
So you can't even imagine. Like I'm fine.
That's a new species for you, man.
I caught something totally cool that I'd never caught before. Yeah. So I was super stoked about that. I'm still wound up about that. That was so cool to catch that red horse. And the fish was like 6 pounds.
Yeah.
And on my big old rods that I had, which I was regretting bringing after I got there because I'm like, God, these rods will yank a hook out of a fish's mouth if I'm not careful.
Right.
You know, turn my drags down and everything. And then I catch this red horse, and that thing started to spool me. Like, he started smoking my drag for a second. I'm like, oh, man.
They're pretty strong in that low river.
Drag down. He was still pulling. I was like, whoop, I got a big one. And it turned out to be that red horse. So I was like, I don't care. This is awesome. I got a big old red horse.
Was it? Did you had to peg the? Was that a boat in front of it? Capsizing?
I think it was. That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if it's that kayaks.
Kayaks? No, they found them.
Well, no.
They found the
that
kayaks.
definitely wasn't a kayak. It was. It looked like the bottom of either like a paddle
they found
boat,
both kayaks,
Yeah.
and then
maybe,
they found both.
or a John boat.
Yeah. In Austin, in the tournament, he ended up with the biggest non-species fish. But he wasn't in the side pot.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh man!
So really, you should have weighed that fish because you probably would have took that side pot.
At the
Yeah.
yeah. Well, who won that? I got
No, because it was who was it that caught the big mouth? Not Austin. There was somebody else that caught the big mouth.
Steven Brandenburg.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was like a 10-pound fish.
Yeah. 15.
Yeah, that fish would have never gotten. My fish would have never broke that.
Yeah.
That fish was
What do
maybe
you catch,
7
buffalo?
pounds.
Yeah.
I'm guessing closer to like
Smallmouth.
6 and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see you too
Yeah.
many big mouth buffaloes.
No, actually, it was a big mouth. It was a big mouth.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big mouth.
Yeah, it was a big mouth.
But
Yeah.
that's also a super unique catch.
Yeah.
Big mouth are a super unique catch on.
That
Just because they're weird about how they fish.
Steven Brandenburg, he's one of our. He lives in that whole area around the river. He's one of our top competitors. When you hear Steven Brandenburg, you know he's one of those river rats that actually comes to the tournament all the time.
Yeah, he has fished a lot.
Great.
Him and his wife.
Yeah, him and his wife. They're both great anglers.
They've both hit big fish or placed one way or another.
Matter of fact, Steve Brandenburg. But you know, with Steven Brandenburg, he was always he gave everybody a run for his money, but he never won a White River Invitational tournament. But he did last year of the Fall Carp Classic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So he'll be there for. I'm sure you know he's gonna be there for that.
But just to hear in Indianapolis, they always say that the White River Invitational is kind of like the tournament for like the 500. It's one of the biggest wild water tournaments that we have here. But I mean, I wish the fish were bigger, but it is, you know. But that river with the whole river area between, because you're pegged out to 1 through 70 pegs.
But
Man,
then they're all
so
in
much
between two
potential.
dams, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Mhm.
Is they're in between two dams.
Mhm.
All them pegs. So that's just, you know, it's just one section right there.
Yeah.
But if you go above that section or below that section, man, that's when you start getting into a lot of the bigger fish.
Yeah. But I would like to see a lot more bigger fish start coming out of there here soon. Hopefully.
I think once they get this new Dig Indy Tunnel stuff back up and going, or get it going in the next couple of years, hopefully, you know, it'll change the waterways and
Fingers crossed for that, guys, because that was a super cool river, and I won't be able to make it out to the fall one. It's going to be a little too close to my tournament.
Oh, yeah,
I've got a lot of stuff going on right then, but we're going to be back for next spring.
I think he's sitting outside.
Yeah. So, well, brother, man, I tell you, we're about getting towards the end of our show right now. It's almost 10 o'clock, and here, you're probably 8 o'clock your time, isn't it?
Yeah, about 8 o'clock.
You got birds outside chirping?
Yep. I've been outside the whole time. Yeah.
James is like, did you hear
right
that?
at 9 o'clock for me.
Wow. So, But man, I tell you, brother, it was a pleasure talking to you on our show. I'm glad you came and spend a little bit of knowledge with us on carp fishing. Guys out there, the KCCA Harvest Moon Classics. This is their 3rd annual. Please, all they need is 5 more teams. $500 entry.
$250 deposit, right?
Yeah, $250 deposit, and then they can pay the other $250 deposit when they get there, right?
Yep.
Okay, and I mean, basically, what, a 3 or 4 day tournament?
3 days.
3 days.
Starts Thursday morning, ends on Sunday. And we'll have everybody out. Also, real quick on that.
Yeah.
Teams. You know, we'll say something about this tournament.
Yeah, we'll keep on talking about this tournament. We'll keep on saying
something about it. We'll try to make sure you know.
And then,
because I'm sure there's going to be people maybe probably reaching out to you.
So
I was able to do it. I'm going to start pushing everything. I just kind of got everything solidified and finished up on my side as far as the legalities go, which I had locked down already. I just had to finish up all the paperwork and get everything square with the state of Kansas. We've got all that. That's all done and handled. I've got all my permits from them, and I'm gonna start pushing everything and getting all the information out there to the other anglers in the world. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I really do.
Yeah.
It means a ton to me. It means a ton to the KCCA.
Yeah.
You know, our little group, our little corner of the world, and you know, we're gonna see you guys again next year in the spring.
Yeah,
if everything goes right, we're gonna show up with a super strong posse.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're going to sweep that thing, man. One of these days, we're going to sweep it. 1, 2, 3, all the KCCA.
Oh, that's another thing. I just something that you and me's got both in common besides carp fishing. You're a chairman over.
Oh yeah.
Kansas City.
CAG. Yep. I am the CAG state chair for Missouri.
Yeah, I'm
Kevin is the CAG state chair for Kansas, and Jamie, the lovely Jamie, is the CAG state chair for Oklahoma as well. So we've actually got 3 state chairs just in our KCCA group. 3 CAG state chairs in the KCCA.
I'm the state chair for Indiana, so I was like,
that's nice. Sweet.
Yep. So. But man, again, brother, it's a great honor.
Yeah, we appreciate you being on the show.
So definitely
appreciate the knowledge.
Yeah, and man, wow. You got any shout outs real quick?
No, I'm good, man. I think I hit everybody. KCCA boys, all of you out there. Let's keep it rocking. Let's go to Indy next year. Everybody come out with us in February for the chili supper.
Yeah,
got to have that, man. That's so
awesome.
Much fun. And then, you know, of course, the spring tourney with you guys, we're going to make sure we have a big group to come out for that, because I really want a big group of guys for that.
Nice. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. We really do, man. You know, just people like you, that's what helps.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
That's why we keep going, too.
So, all right. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, brother.
Have a good night, guys. See
you too. Thank you.
You too. Enjoy your night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Steve.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome.
You can tell he, you know,
very knowledgeable.
I see this tournament being bigger and bigger every year.
Very. And it's never at the same place. So what it sounds like, you know, there's.
Sounds like they're all on lakes though. Like it's not. I don't think he's doing no rivers or anything like that.
So, but that's the way they got a good game plan going on. So.
Mine does.
Man, $500 entry.
I mean, it's not bad.
Was that winner take all or
no? 3,000 for first, 1,500 for second, 1,000 for 1,000 for third, and then $1,000 for big fish. 16 teams.
Man,
I mean, it's a good little tournament.
It is a good little
especially for just the local guys, you know, too, probably.
Right.
That's why I'm sure he's probably already got 10 teams. Most of them, probably 8 of them, 7 of them is local guys.
Yeah. Wow. Man. But well, you got anything else?
No.
You look tired, man.
Man, I've been working my ass off for the last week.
Need some coffee.
Straight. I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee?
Oh,
gotcha.
No. I just been working a lot, man. You know, my daughter gets up at least 2 times a night. Milk, daddy, milk. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not getting used to wake up like that. I mean, I should be now. You know, she's almost 21 months. So. She's off the chain. And
Not
she's,
fast,
yeah,
huh?
she is.
What?
Nah, man, you know, shout out to Mike
Yep.
Thornburg, Big Money Beepers, shout out Raphael, carping.com, Carp Mando, James, Bottom Feeder Baits,
Kenny Mack.
Joe Lutz with R&W, and
Yeah.
Bubba's, and One On, and like you said, Kenny Mack.
Yeah.
You know, he always goes above and beyond for us, man. More than what you guys even know behind the scenes, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't thank that man enough for what he does for us and the
Definitely.
team and just carp anglers in general, because he helps out everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean everybody.
Everybody.
You know. So, you know, shout out to all the lakes, you know, that's changing stuff, you know, buying more landing mats and cradles, you know, trying to do more better carp care and take care of the fish that, you know, they're putting in.
Definitely.
Because I seen a video earlier, man, of somebody holding a bow and there was probably 20 trash cans.
Geez, what the heck?
20 trash cans of fish.
I did see
That's
that.
just being, you know, just shot and killed and left. And there was probably another 100.
Wasteful.
Probably another 100 carp on the bank.
It's crazy. And always practice good carp care. Landing mats.
Yeah.
Cradles.
Always support your local bait shop, Snaptown Bait and Tackle, any bait and tackle,
Yeah.
Adams Outdoors, the Bobber Shop.
Online, I guess, too.
Yep, all online. We appreciate everybody that supports us, man. We appreciate you guys so much.
Yep. All right, brother.
You ready?
I'm ready, man.
Well,
Later, guys.
see you later.
Thanks for watching.